Hello and welcome to The Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm Peter Lavelle. Well, it's that time of the week, thumbs up and thumbs down. I have George here. George, give me your thumbs up for the week.
My thumbs up for the week was the antitrust suit that the United States government.
That's fine.
Along,
That's not. Okay, keep going.
Sorry. Well, all right. That the United States, and along with I think 11 other states, filed against Google. Sorry?
Republican states.
Yeah, Republican states. But nonetheless, it's a good thing. It's they're charging Google, and has high time too, with anti-competitive practices, that they're basically driven out all rival search engines. And we know this. I mean, there have been any number of search engines that have tried to make headway over the years. Google has driven them out. Google has basically a monopoly on all searches, pretty much in the United States, but the ones on the mobile apps, completely dominated by Google. Google's very carefully manipulates what happens.
They spend billions of dollars for that monopoly.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. And what's really bad is that having achieved this monopoly status, they mess around with the algorithm in ways that nobody understands in order to push one agenda and to downgrade all other perspectives. So during an election, they push down any stories that might be favorable to, in this case, Trump, whom they obviously don't like, and push up any, which they obviously did in 2016. They were clearly pushing pro-Hillary Clinton stories. Then, obviously, they're doing it now. And in the case of YouTube, which Google owns, Google has clearly violated the basic agreements that people have signed when they make content for YouTube. They assume that content will be there, and YouTube will respect the intellectual property of the creators of that content. But in fact, YouTube doesn't do that. YouTube censors, YouTube closes accounts all the time, and so therefore they're basically violating the very agreement that they made with the content creators, while making a ton of money, because then all this money goes to YouTube. So when people come to it, they create content, and then for whatever political reasons, YouTube closes down these accounts while still raking in all of that money. So I don't know whether the suit will succeed, but I think this is a wonderful start.
Well, I was poking around because it's my thumbs up for the week too, and I have to admit I'm a bit surprised. There is bipartisan support for this. I think people are beginning to realize that this is something that can devour everyone. So it should be bipartisan, because it's just gotten way out of control, and it could get far worse. And and it's also essentially destroyed journalism as well. Okay, so because you can just you don't give people a choice. You can put it at the bottom of your search. Okay, you'll never see anything like that. Okay, I mean, they're picking winners. Okay, and I thought they believed in the market. Let the market choose winners. Well, no, this is very, very unfair here. I've been told that it's very similar to the Microsoft antitrust of the 1990s. We'll see where that goes. Antitrust is very, very complicated, and it takes a very long time. And I'm really glad, and knock on wood here, we're going through this election cycle. I don't know who's going to be in the White House in January, but whoever's the Attorney General in January or February, I hope they stay to the course, okay? Because I think this is something that's really needed, and it's been building up. I mean, they have made so much money out of throttling entrepreneurship, competition, innovation. It's really, really shameful. And you and I are old. I mean, in our lifetime, the internet is something relatively new, and we were all told it was a level playing field. This would be the ultimate democratizer. Everyone would have a voice. Well, it's turned into a rather dystopian reality, and we really need to get that back under control. It doesn't mean, I take community standards seriously. Okay, there's certainly things that particularly YouTube shouldn't put on. Okay, you can go elsewhere for that kind of stuff. Okay, so but when you go into the political realm, when you go into the speech realm, they should be hypersensitive. Okay, I mean, there's a once you compromise on freedom of speech, you'll just eventually lose it. Okay, so thumbs up for that for both of us. Okay, so what's your thumbs down?
And yeah, just to keep in mind that the Microsoft antitrust suit was successful. Remember, they actually Microsoft lost that case. It was only because that George W. Bush administration came in 2001 and dropped the lawsuit and just signed a settlement with Microsoft. But basically, Microsoft lost the case. The court found that it was engaging in anti-competitive practices. And the court was urging the breakup of Microsoft. It should have happened, but it was only because of the Bush administration that that Microsoft wasn't broken up. So absolutely, and you can't have, and you say this, yes, obviously when you have extreme pornography, extreme violence, and all that, yeah, that no place on Google, but when you have content because it's favorable to the Syrian government, and YouTube just decides we're going to cancel this account because we don't like material that's favorable to the Syrian government. What the hell's that?
In the case of Facebook, where they have the Atlantic Council be their censor for them, I mean that is simply outrageous. Do they have any idea who the Atlantic Council is? I mean, they are the mouthpiece and propaganda arm of NATO and other agendas here. I mean, that's stifling speech here. So knock on wood, we'll see where it goes, but they're off to a good start, even if it's a bit late in the day. What's your thumbs down?
Okay, my first thumbs down is a small one, and then I've got a bigger one. So the small one is that Peter Strzok, our old friend Peter Strzok of FBI Russiagate fame, has been appointed a professor, a university professor at Georgetown. Now, very prestigious, and it's very nice that students in America are getting this first-rate education. They have James Comey. I can't remember what university he's a professor at. Now they've got Peter Strzok at Georgetown, and I think our friend Masha Jovanovic of Ukrainegate fame, I think she's also at Georgetown. So the parents of the students going to Georgetown must be really happy, to be paying all these exorbitant fees.
All the students should get a refund. Okay, now. Okay.
The bigger one, and I'll just segue from the incident, and I'll segue to the bigger issue, which is this week we had the story of Rudy Giuliani being waylaid by Borat. I have to admit, I didn't see the Borat movie. People say it was funny. It's just not my thing. But what is interesting is how the media have covered it, suggesting that Giuliani behaved in this horrible way. Somehow he was accosting some underage girl. It's clear from the story that the actress who played the reporter, I mean, the whole thing was there's a setup for an interview with Giuliani. She was this was supposed to be Borat's daughter. She was the reporter. The actress who played the reporter was 24 years old. Giuliani was not given any reason to believe that she was 15. And when the denouement during the interview, when Borat storms in and says, "Oh, this is my daughter, and she's only 15 years old," was quite ridiculous because Giuliani had no business, didn't think that she was 15, and the actress, clearly she's 24, doesn't look 15. The media, however, have run with this story and holding up their skirts in this squeamishness. Oh God, this is so horrible. Giuliani behaved in a completely inappropriate way, but Giuliani didn't do anything. And even if he did do something, these are consenting adults. So how is it anybody's business? Yet this has been covered quite extensively in the media. That very same media that have pointedly ignored the real scandal, namely the Bidens.
It's really interesting that I didn't see the clip. Okay, I only know the story. Okay, but for me, it cuts two ways in an interesting sense for me. Number one, I agree with your analysis completely. But I find it really troubling that you have. I mean, Giuliani's a pretty prominent public figure, okay, and he's a public figure because of his involvement in politics. Okay, I wouldn't necessarily call him a politician anymore, but he's an influencer. I hate that word, but people use it. Okay, but this craving for celebrity. I think it's a craven desire, okay? And I think that the people that do that kind of debase their whole character, okay, just to for fame, for people to talk about you and stuff like that. I don't know. I find it. It's a very strange form of vanity, which I don't like. Okay, I mean, if you're going to do it, I think we'll be the only two people that will remember this here. What was it? Gorbachev did an ad for Domino's Pizza, I think it was. Okay, or it was Pizza Hut. Excuse me, Pizza Hut. Okay. Okay. That's kind of softball stuff. Okay. And he needed the cash too. So, but this whole Giuliani thing tells us a lot about our culture. And of course, the Democrats, their hair gets on fire. I mean, oh geez. Okay. You look the wrong way at someone, and you're going to be in trouble with these people. So, yeah, it's an interesting story, but it's a comment on our culture.
It's but I just find this sordid, sort of the way the media are now playing up this. Oh, this is really, he behaved in this elderly man behaved in this horrible, inappropriate way with a young woman, even though he didn't do anything. And even if, yes, apparently he asked for her telephone number, so what? I mean, are we grown-ups or
well,
what?
I didn't think I was going to mention it, but I will, okay? He didn't do with Jeffrey Toobin, okay?
Exactly. That's it. That's exactly right. And while the media have jumped in to defend Toobin, I mean, it's one thing, fine, let's not pile on, but media have defended him. Now they're sort of, oh, this is... Remember, the same media that saw nothing wrong with that that film about those children doing sexualized dances. I forgot the name of it.
I think it's Cuties.
That, exactly, yeah, yes. And pretended that this was just simply a bunch of extreme...
Did you see the trailer?
I kind of avoided that.
I saw the trailer. I was
nauseating.
I was aghast.
Sure. Yes. But people who suggested that that's just simply, just extreme evangelical Christians who are shocked by that.
No. Yeah. I think most parents would feel that way, okay? I think most parents would, okay?
Yeah.
So is that it for the week?
I think, yeah, I mean, one other thing was Andrew Cuomo coming out against vaccines. So, at all times, this great man, suddenly decided that, well, no, I'm really against vaccine. I'm not going to take a vaccine. So, remember that time when the New York Times ran that story? It was a few weeks ago that this global anti-vaccine campaign being led by, you guessed it, Russia and Vladimir Putin. My God, these are now that there's this sort of vaccine coming on. There's some vaccine available in the United States. No, we're against vaccine. I'm not taking any vaccines. Because it might help Trump. So count me out.
That story is so full of nonsense because I am part of a group of people, a test group of people that took the Russian vaccine. It's the Sputnik 5 vaccine, okay? And I was, RT asked for volunteers. I volunteered, and I went through the entire process. I've told you about it privately. There's no anti-vax campaign here. I mean, it's so totally different here than the way it's being treated in the West, particularly in the United States and the UK. As I've said before, it's a problem, it's an annoyance, it's a tragedy for some people and their families, but you just get on with it. You get on with life, okay? And that's what is happening here. People don't talk about it. It's just like, we got to get through it, okay? It's like winter in Russia. No one ever talks about winter. Okay, it's just part of our life. So we'll see where it goes. All right, George.
All right.
You'll get right back to me here. This was our weekly edition on every single Saturday of our thumbs up, thumbs down. In the messages below, please tell us what you think was your thumbs up and thumbs down, and maybe we'll have a little bit of a parlay. So if you like this, like, share, and subscribe. And I'm up next.